causal relationship in that. Let's take a look at what Americans are eating. Next slide, please. Here is the United States diet. We eat the world's worst diet. There's no question about it. 62% of the calories we eat in the United States is basically crap. Highly processed carbohydrates, sugar, white flour, all kinds of sweet foods, refined oils. 25.5% are industrialized grains. These are unhealthy foods. So low carb movement has done a great service to the American people if they can get people to stop eating those foods. Those are the single foods that people should eliminate first from their diet. That's a very good thing. But I think they throw the baby out with the bathwater when they eliminate the starch foods that we have built our diets around since, well, probably through all of history. And I'm talking about things like yams, winter squashes, brown rice, oats. Wheat's a tricky one. I don't want to go into it here because wheat's been a plant that's been altered in some ways, and we've eaten so much wheat. A lot of people develop gluten intolerances and allergies from it. That's why you have this whole gluten-free movement. So wheat's a tricky one, but you could still eat a very base your calorie intake on starch foods and not ever eat any wheat. I mean, most of the Asian peoples have built their diets around rice. Rice is a particularly non-allergenic food. Next slide. How about the paleo diets? Because paleo diets are incredibly popular right now. If you go on to Amazon.com and you look at the 20 best-selling diet nutrition books, I just did it, 13 of them relate back to paleo. Paleo is a very big movement, and it's a big movement for a couple of reasons. A, Americans are addicted to meat, and so any diet that tells them they should be eating a lot of meat is a diet that's going to be popularly received. And secondly, by eliminating the refined carbohydrate foods, the paleo diet is so much healthier than the standard American diet that people will get good results from it, particularly in the short run. My big question about the paleo and primal diets is what happens to those people that are following it over the long term. Because we know when people start to get their animal foods consistently above 10% for extended periods of time, it correlates, cannot prove causation, but it correlates highly with heart disease, stroke, weight gain, and cancer. So time's going to sort this one out. So I do think there are long-term risks from that particular diet. Next slide. Some of the things Whole Foods Market's doing, I'm going to talk about programs that we've implemented that other companies could potentially implement that are working very well for us. Our company spent over $200 million on healthcare of our team members in 2013, and we'll probably spend a little bit more than that since we're growing at 10% a year, just our sales, 12% a year. This is one of the programs. If you work for Whole Foods Market, you automatically get a 20% discount. But we've created incentives for our team members to be healthier because we have 4 other discount levels, a bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, based on their objective measurements in 4 areas. We send mobile labs to our stores, and people can take their test to get their blood tested for nicotine use and for their cholesterol. And then we take blood pressure and we do body mass index calculations, or if you're a bodybuilder, we will also give you a height to waist ratio that you have to beat. And then based on your scores, you can get additional discounts. We have about 10,000 team members that qualify for an incentive discount card. And this has saved our company probably, well, it costs us money to give the additional discounts, but it's a win-win because as we're incenting our team members to be healthier, we're getting much better health outcomes. We're not seeing our healthcare costs rise at Whole Foods Market, even right now as fast as the rate of inflation. Here you can see, well, in 2013, in 2014 we went over 10,000, so I got to get these figures updated. But we believe this program is saving us tens of millions of dollars per year. Next slide. Another program we do, we call the Total Health Immersion. And this is a revolutionary program. And We have taken now over 2,900 of our sickest team members around the company in the last 5 years. People who are obese, people who have diabetes, people who have heart disease, or just people who have very high risk based on their blood pressure and cholesterol rankings. And at our cost to the company, at about $3,000 a person, we will send them to one of these total health immersions. We do it twice a year with 4 different programs. So there's 8 opportunities a year to do this. And the results have been unbelievably great. When I travel around to our stores, I always have team members come up and show me before pictures on their phone and, well, I can see, I don't need the after pictures, I can see for myself. We have seen type 2 diabetes, which the medical says cannot be reversed, and it cannot be reversed through drugs, but it can be reversed by diet, generally within about 30 days, under a good medically supervised program. That is a completely curable disease if you'll change your diet and your lifestyle. We see heart disease reversed, and we've had hundreds of team members lose over 100 pounds in less than a year. And if they stay with the program, then they will continue to have those kind of results. We live in such a toxic food culture. The biggest challenge is getting people from falling back into their addictions. Next slide. A couple of success stories very quickly. Here's one. Marty Jenkins, a store team leader in one of our Sacramento stores. He was type 2 diabetic. In 6 months, he lost 70 pounds. His blood pressure dropped from 156/96 to 115/75. He's no longer diabetic. He reversed that disease, and his blood sugar test between 70 and 80 now. Next slide. Here's Milan Ross, works in our Collins Ranch store in Colorado. Here he dropped his weight 75 pounds in only 4 months, and his blood pressure dropped from 145/95 to 100/65. And great thing is he continues to send me regular pictures of himself, and he's very, very, very proud of the progress he's making. And there are so many stories like this. Now, one thing we're going to do is this is such a good program, we're going to open it up to the public. So anybody in this room that's interested in this, if you send an email to patricia.petty@wholefoods.com, she can tell you about our fall programs, and you can see whether there might be something you're interested in. Next slide. Team member medical clinics. We have opened a clinic a year ago in 2013 in Los Angeles where we provide free primary medical care for our team members. We already have a system that covers automatically the team members for insurance, but this is in addition to that, where we believe if we can get our team members in an intensive, deeper relationship, with the doctors, so we have nutrition-oriented medical doctors plus wellness coaches. So we'll take a team member and their family, and we'll draw their blood, we'll have their tests, we'll begin to counsel them and coach them on an ongoing basis for them to make permanent lifestyle changes. And we think we're getting great results in LA, and this is something we're going to open up in Austin next, and eventually all the major cities that we have stores in around the United States. And we'll also begin to open that up for the public as well. Next slide. This is the next idea that I'm particularly excited about, because I'm so convinced that people's health can be transformed through diet and lifestyle alterations that we're going to set up residential wellness centers. First one will be in Austin. We're just getting the real estate locked in right now, and it'll be available for team members. So we're going to do this immersion type programs, and we're going to combine hotel with it, a fitness center, wellness coaches, medical doctors. It'll be a complete medical type of centers. You could check into the Whole Foods residential wellness center for a day or a week or a month, or as long as you want to. And we intend to be able to reverse diabetes, reverse heart disease, really help people get control of their health and their lives. Last slide. So let me conclude. Our nation is remarkably unhealthy, it's overweight, it's obese, and it's completely preventable. The truth of the matter is people don't need to be overweight. They don't need or shouldn't ever get heart disease. They should never get diabetes. These are preventable diseases. And I think cancer is largely preventable as well. You never want to blame the victim, and you don't want to add guilt to people. But I really do think that we know that in these traditional long-lived societies, cancer was very, very rare. And I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be very rare in urban societies as well. So the last thought I want to make is that I think at this particular time in American history that each of us is being given a call to embark on a unique hero's journey. First, you got to wake up to your own health reality. People have got to get out of denial about what's going on with them. And once you can do that, you can begin to take responsibility for your own health. Once we take responsibility of our own health, we can transform our lives. We can live incredibly healthy, vital lives. And we can live to be in our 90s, even past 100. I think completely disease-free. And it's going to be very bad for Whole Foods business if I get reported with a heart attack or cancer, because I do feel personally that I have got to be this living example for this type of diet and this type of lifestyle. But I think that isn't just me. I think everyone that ever hears this message has a similar responsibility, because it will be through successful people getting control of their diets, getting control of their health, that will ultimately enable their friends and their families to transform their lives. So I just say, I think you have an awesome responsibility to wake up to your own health potential, stop living in denial, and then begin to help other people to make the same journey that you made. Okay, thank you very much. I think we have time for a few questions. So just if you line up there. I was on a plane flying down here, and a woman sitting next to me was telling me that, hey, her boyfriend was an alcoholic. And she said, do you think, she found out, knew who I was, and she said, do you think drinking 2 glasses of wine every day is bad? I said, you mean for your boyfriend or for you? She said, oh, for me. I drink 2 glasses of wine every day. And I said, well, generally they say women shouldn't drink more than about 1 glass of wine a day. She said, oh, well, so 1 glass of 8 ounces. I said, no. A glass of wine is about 4 to 5 ounces tops. That's what, that's the pour you get in a good restaurant. So the point of it is, she really felt like she was drinking wine moderately, but I would argue she was, particularly with a boyfriend who's an alcoholic, she was possibly at risk herself. So I do think, I'm not trying to be a killjoy. I know I had a glass of wine last night myself, but I am not kidding myself. I think it's not a healthy food, and I don't recommend people drink very much, very often. Next question.
Yeah, I concentrate more on exercise and less on diet, but I think the combination of it is a winner. I have been manufacturing a 4-minute exercise machine per day for 24 years. I've used it for 24 years. I still hate the darn thing, but I like the results. And I wondered whether your organization might be interested in looking at a 4-minute per day.
Okay, I'm just up here to answer questions about my presentation, not about Whole Foods, not doing business here up on the stage. So you could contact our offices at Whole Foods Market and follow up that way.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful presentation. I'm a vegetarian for the past 35 years, and I've raised my family, wife and family of 5 children, and they're all very healthy. But I have a bit of a dichotomy in my life. I'm a farmer, among other things, and I've tried organic vegetable growing, but I find that it's totally uneconomical. And here I am using all sorts of toxic sprays, etc. And I've just been looking at a crop of wheat recently, and it's lovely and clean, wherein it's impossible to kill all these weeds, all these insects organically. So my question is, how do I resolve that?
I don't know. I'm not a farmer, so I cannot help you there. But there are lots of organic organizations and trade associations, and this is a great example where you need collective knowledge because there are very successful organic farmers in the United States and around the world. So I don't know how they're doing it, but a lot of people are doing it and doing it successfully. And I sell their food. I don't grow it. I decided that was had higher gross margins in it, actually.
How do you feel about the various products, including at your store? Some of the things I love, as for example, cheese alternatives, are those products like almond cheese and soy and some of these other products. Do you have any real feelings about those one way or the other?
I mean, I don't think those are healthy foods. I mean, I eat a little bit of it from time to time, but no, and they're very concentrated. Those are from nuts. So depending on how processed it is, you can make your own nut cheeses at home very easily. And I think eating small quantities of nuts and seeds is very healthy. But if you're eating massive quantities of nut cheeses that are processed and you're getting them in the stores, even at Whole Foods, it's not a super healthy food. You could do better.
And it makes no difference whether it's almond or soy or, in your opinion, any of those various alternatives?
I mean, I eat both soy and almonds,
Okay.
so
No strong feeling?
no strong feelings. Unless you have a soy or nut allergy.
I just love almonds.
Thank you for taking our questions. In your research, have you found differences in the bearing of plant-based diet on autoimmune diseases?
Well, hey, I'm not a doctor, which people are already thinking that out there. I'm a grocer.
Yeah.
So anything I say you should take with a huge grain of salt here. And I certainly don't want to have people come put me in handcuffs and get me for prescribing medicine without a license. That being said, repeat your question. So
You were doing research, and McDougall and Furman and their research found
autoimmune
traumatic
diseases.
disease. Yeah.
I mean, autoimmune diseases are so tricky because there can be lots of causes for autoimmune diseases. I don't think science has got this one worked out yet. I do know that a lot of doctors, like Furman and McDougall, have success on some things like multiple sclerosis, for example, eating a plant-based diet. But you have to identify oftentimes if there are any allergens there, because some people have allergies to any kind of gluten. They can have inflammation reactions to a variety of different foods. Neither plants nor animals evolved for our sake. They had their own destinies, and they all evolved with certain amounts of toxic chemicals in them. All the plants have got poisons in them. They can't run away from their predators, so they develop chemical ways. And it was pointed out Thursday with John Durant, who was the Paleo representative in our debate. If you just start going out in nature and start eating plants randomly, you're going to be dead, because most plants out there will kill you. So we've evolved our plants that humans feed on and our animals to minimize those type of toxins. I think autoimmune diseases come about because our bodies are not as healthy as they should be. Our immune systems are deeply compromised because we've eaten a crappy junk food diet, and that's made us vulnerable to autoimmune diseases. So I think they're all kind of the one and the same thing. You want to eat as healthy a diet as you can to make yourself as vital and healthy and strong as possible. And then your chances for autoimmune diseases are greatly lessened. But if you have one, you need to work under the care of a very, very good doctor. And even then, that doctor probably will not know how to cure your disease, but they might be able to help manage it through diet and lifestyle.
Hello. First of all, I'm from Colleyville, Texas, and I can't wait to get home because the day I left, we opened a Whole Foods. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right, we did. Door's off to a good start, too.
Yeah, so we're excited to get
Even
back.
without you there.
I know, and we're going straight there from the airport. So, not just kidding, but I had a question about healthy living. Both of my parents are getting the lap band. My mom just had it. My dad's preparing to get it. And I just wanted to ask you your opinion. I know you're not a doctor, but your opinion on, starting off your healthy life with such a drastic change.
Again, I mean, you already gave the answer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to advise people on what they should do about such a thing. I gave you examples. Hey, have your parents come to one of the Whole Foods immersions. They can lose 100 pounds in less than a year. I've seen it happen over and over and over again. Weight loss is, we create it through what we eat. We can uncreate it by changing what we eat. And then all the rest of your health will follow along with that. You know, if you get control of your diet, you'll get control of your whole life. You'll want to exercise more. You'll take on other healthy lifestyle habits. You can do the same thing. If you get exercise and get that, you'll want to eat a healthier diet. It's all connected. So just take responsibility for your own health, and that's what I think your parents need to do as well. But again, if their doctor says to do that, who am I to dispute that? But they could check out one of our total health immersions. Patricia.petty@wholefoods.com.
Thank you.
Petty, P-E-T-T-Y.
Thank you for your presentation. Do you have any recommendations for a guy like me who doesn't cook and primarily eats on the run? And do supplements work as well as the manufacturers say they do, or at all?
Well, those are two different questions.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I had lunch at Whole Foods yesterday here. I'm having lunch at Whole Foods right after this meeting. I mean, I go to Whole Foods when I travel because I can get just the kind of food I want there. So it's very difficult to travel. I travel, and I said I had breakfast today. I have a rice cooker with me, small little portable rice cooker. I cooked up steel-cut oats, added some blueberries, organic blueberries to it, and a little almond milk, and it was a great, great breakfast. When you travel and when you eat out, it's very difficult. Most restaurants serve remarkably unhealthy food, full of salt and oil and sugar. That's just the reality of it. And you got to find good ones that don't, or get the cooks to be cooked the way you want to. You can almost always get steamed vegetables or salad. And if you just put a little balsamic vinegar on it, don't put too much oil on it, you can get a healthy meal. But it's tricky. Oh,
Yep.
Learn how to cook. No, honestly, or marry someone who does. because it's very hard to be healthy unless you are on a regular basis cooking and eating really healthy food, unless you go completely raw, and I'm not sure that's a healthy diet. I think we're out of time, so yes, thank you very much.